So yesterday we watched the Disney Pop Stars thing, and with every original, there's a copy or there's a twin, and now we're gonna look at the Nickelodeon one. And y'all know our favorite non-copyrighted song intro. It's a non-copyright song, non-copyright song, a non-copyright song, and it's non-copyrighted. I'ma get paid. Yeah. Yeah. So good.
Grande, Victoria Justice, Big Time Rush, Drake Bell, Miranda Cosgrove, the Naked Brothers Band. All successful Nickelodeon stars for sure. But besides Ariana, all of them had very minor success in their music
What have you done?
I mean,
like I said, that
Disney,
sounds
who
copyrighted.
at the time were creating massive pop stars. We talked about Disney's highly calculated approach to making these actors superstars, but Nickelodeon fumbled huge opportunities. These two networks were peaking from 2000 to 2012. They had wildly successful TV shows and extremely talented acts.
I love Big Time Rush.
For 19 years straight, Nickelodeon had a higher yearly viewership than the Disney Channel. They pursued a similar strategy when it came to casting talent and then releasing music with them, but they had minor Billboard success, and none of them even had a platinum record. Besides Ariana Grande, who is the fourth most streamed artist in history, has over 70 platinum certifications, and is on her way to becoming one of the top female artists of all time. And she wasn't even the star.
See, real niggas loved Ariana Grande back in Victorious, cause all those people that having crushes on Ariana Grande now are just bandwagons. And her.
Of the show on Nickelodeon. My name is Patrick CC. Today we're going to find out how Nickelodeon catastrophically missed on every one of their talents, but also somehow created the biggest talent of them all at the same time. Drink water while you're watching this video. This is definitely a picture of me in the mirror telling you that this video is sponsored by Manscaped. And oh boy.
Man, Manscaped, the fact that you don't want to sponsor me is crazy. I be using your shit all the time. I'll send you a picture.
To get 20% off plus free international shipping.
Thanks, I
feel like I should mention that Nickelodeon is not the sole reason why these artists are successful or unsuccessful. But for the most part, if it wasn't for their roles in these various shows and movies, we wouldn't be talking about them here today. In 1979, Nickelodeon aired its first show. In 1993, Nickelodeon Records was founded. They started the label to release music, soundtrack, and original works from the artists or characters on their shows. The network struggled to become profitable in the 80s. They were losing millions of dollars per year. One year, they were actually the lowest viewed network out of all the US cable channels. Damn. They were more concerned with getting viewership than selling music. After all, if nobody's watching the TV shows, then how could the music be successful? But in the early 90s came popular animated shows like Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy was the most popular cable TV show in 1992, which led to their first official Nickelodeon Records release, You Idiot by Ren and Stimpy. This was a 20-song album that acted as a soundtrack consisting of popular songs.
They made an album off of this?
As you can imagine, this wasn't very successful of an album because who the fuck is going to listen to this? But for some reason, they released 2 more and only 5 more soundtracks for the rest of the 90s.
Blue's Clues.
None of them really did anything. The first time we saw any sitcom or non-animated show related to music was in 2001 with a show called Taina. I didn't even know about this show. It aired for less than 1 year. But before doing research, I thought that Lizzie McGuire and the Cheetah Girls, both Disney
that show kind of looked hard,
were the first examples of either of these networks pursuing music with one of their stars. But it turns out that Nickelodeon actually started this trend. Taina was a show about a high school girl who wanted to become a pop star. She attends the Manhattan High School of Performing Arts, and every episode features Taina daydreaming.
Every time I walked out, James can even tell you, every time I walked in my high school hallways, I was always, known. Like, it was like, hey, yo, Gordo, yo, yeah, it was like when I had a girlfriend back in high school, like, I gave her so much clout. Like she has so much clout right after, like, facts.
Dreaming of eventual superstardom and occasionally performing a new song, which is basically the same exact plot as Victorious. They even released an album to complement
James
the
says
show
I'm not
in February
lying.
of 2001, which was 6 months before the first Lizzie McGuire soundtrack. So the perfect formula that I praised Disney for in my last video was actually started by Nickelodeon. The formula is very simple. Find a young talent, cast them for a show. Throughout the episodes, make it clear that this character is a musical artist, then release an album album under their name and capitalize on the millions of people who watch the show and associate the character with the music. Taina walked, so Lizzie, the Cheetah Girls, Miley, Selena, Demi, and all of them could run. Obviously, Taina as a show, as well as her album,
for real though, everybody actually knew who I was, because it was like I would be in different schools, or I would be in different places of Cambridge, and people would be like, "Yo, are you Gordo?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, I heard of you before. I'm like, "Oh," and like some real nigga shit.
Unsuccessful, which is why they canceled it and didn't try again. But after Taina's short run, we had the Romeo show in 2003. Lil Romeo was the star of a sitcom that was basically about his real life as a kid rapper with a famous rap star as a father. Nickelodeon Records never did an official release with him, most likely because he was already a famous rapper, even at the age of 12. In 2001, Romeo...
Yo, who's better, Lil Romeo or Bow Wow as a kid? Like, whose kid tracks is better?
Romeo had a single titled My Baby reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. His debut album went gold and had a run of Billboard charting singles for a couple of years. So Nickelodeon didn't scout him as a random kid and transform him into a star. They just made a show about somebody who was already famous. I actually think Nick hurt his music career because the most musical success he had was before season 1 of The Romeo Show. Luckily, this led to him having a 20-year acting career. I'm assuming Nick never did a music release with Romeo because of his father, Master P. Master P is known for being one of the first rappers to have independent success in the 90s and 2000s when it was borderline impossible to have a musical career without a major label. He's a mogul known for never giving up ownership of his music.
Moon. Hi, Moonsters. What's good, Moonsters? Yo, your childish music, H. I appreciate the follow. 26 welcome video. How y'all doing? What's good, Mooners? What's good? Obviously, I appreciate the follow. Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi. What's good, Nuno? What's good, Liz? You guys have entered a sponsored stream. My name is Gordo. I'm black. That's all I got for you. But how you guys doing? Moon, how's the stream, bro? And the stream is sponsored by Rise of Kingdoms. Exclamation point ROK. Get your City Hall to level 5. Scan this QR code with your phone and your camera, and yeah. What's good, convo?
And remaining independent. So I'm sure
But how y'all doing? And right now we're just watching videos and shit. We're watching Nickelodeon's failed attempts at making pop stars.
Master P negotiated a really fruitful deal with Nickelodeon. Probably borderline finessed them into...
Gordo, you're black. WTH, you told me you were white. I'm blocked.
Where MJ at? No clue. Wait, Gordo, you're what? I'm unfollowing him. Wow. Just because I said I'm black. Alright, that's crazy.
Making him and his family more famous. In 2004, Drake and Josh aired on Nickelodeon, became a huge hit. In the show, Drake Bell was essentially the cool guy ladies man who played the guitar and was the front man of his own band. Plus, he performed...
Like, chat, be honest. When you guys have kids, are you not gonna just like show your kids your TV shows back in the day? Because TV shows now are way too ass.
Intro song, which was another common practice for Nickelodeon and Disney to have the star actor perform the intro song. Nick Records released the soundtrack to the show in 2005 after season 2. Probably a little too late. Shoulda did it after season 1. It charted number 178 on the Billboard Hot 200, but only sold 1,200 copies first week. The only two songs that had minor success were obviously the intro song and Soul Man, which was performed by both of them in the show. Again,
shows don't hit at all, because like there's no shows that will give you that emotional attachment like Total Drama did.
Reason Nick didn't pursue Drake as a musical artist. Maybe they thought he sucked. Because during the time he released an independent album called Telegraph, and in 2006 signed with Motown Records to do his second album, It's Only Time. I feel like Nickelodeon missed out big time with Drake Bell. He was absolutely huge at this point. Every kid in America thought he was the coolest guy ever. He won 3 Kids' Choice Awards for Favorite Actor.
Commercials aren't good.
They didn't try to organize a record deal with him, I don't know. His only popular songs are the ones that he performed on the show. Isn't that an obvious sign? Give him
I missed the actual
songs in the episodes. Exactly what Disney was doing. Drake didn't really end up the way we thought he would, though, so I guess it doesn't matter. But Drake and Josh did lead us to Miranda Cosgrove with iCarly, which had a lot more success. But before we talk about iCarly, we have to talk about Nick's most successful music act at this point, the Naked Brothers Band, who have a really strange story. The Naked Brothers Band started out as an independent film about Nat and Alex Wolf, real-life brothers. Their father, Michael Wolf, was a professional musician, and their mother, Polly Draper, a successful actress. While recording their very first song, their mother came up with the idea to make a mock documentary about them as if they were a massively successful band. She intended on it being an
is it time for me to get a documentary now?
The film had many celebrities who were friends with the boys' parents, including, but not limited to, Cyndi Lauper, Julianne Moore, Ann Curry, Uma Thurman, and Arsenio Hall. On October 23rd, 2005, Draper and Wolf entered the film
I deserve
at
a
the
documentary.
Hamptons International Film Festival, where it won the Audience Award for Family Feature Film. The former president of Nickelodeon, Albie Heck, happened to be at this film festival. He ended up bringing the film to Nickelodeon and suggested that it be adapted into a TV series. They started producing the show in January 2007. The Naked Brothers Band, the movie, aired on Nickelodeon, followed by the first season of the series in the next month. The series would see 3 seasons, each being accompanied by a soundtrack album. The Naked Brothers Band first album in 2007 would debut at number 23 on the Billboard Hot 200. I Don't Want to Go to School would also reach number 23 on the Billboard Hot 200, making the Naked Brothers Band the most successful talent that Nick Records has seen up until this point. iCarly premiered in September of 2007 to 4.1 million viewers.
With iCarly, say not. Y'all really wanted that Paraphone from iCarly. I really wanted one too.
Hype was real. Miranda Cosgrove performed the intro to iCarly along with Drake Bell, but on the show she wasn't a musical artist. She was an internet star. She was kind of like the first YouTuber. After season 1...
Yo, that Amazon Prime commercial ass. I ain't gonna lie.
Nick would release the iCarly soundtrack. It would include performances by Miranda Cosgrove, the Naked Brothers Band, Good Charlotte, Sean Kingston, Avril Lavigne, and more. It reached number 28 on the Billboard Hot 200 and number 1 on the Billboard...
It's called Appear, right? Yeah, Appear.
The most successful...
Yo, thank you for the... Thank you for the 4-month resub. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, nice. See, you see that? You see that, Grunts? Grunts, you see that? Grunts, do you see that? You see that, Grunts?
Soundtrack yet. So they had back-to-back success with
Grunts besides Moon. Moon gets a pass.
Naked Brothers Band and now Miranda. So you think, okay, let's sign Miranda and do exactly what we just did with Nat and Alex. No, they didn't sign Miranda. So she went off and signed a record deal with Columbia. She released the album Sparks Fly, and that would peak at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 200, and she had a single from the album go on to be...
She doesn't even look like her, bro. Like on some real shit. She doesn't even look like him. Like, y'all, they was just being really mean towards her. Like, honestly, they was really being super mean. I don't like that. I don't even see it. I don't see it, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, do better.
Certified gold. Nick, how did you fumble that? Cosgrove would also release 2 EPs with Columbia, About You Now and High Maintenance, which would reach number 34 on the Billboard Hot 200. Now again, these numbers...
I don't see it. Honestly, I really don't see it. Because I remember seeing that video. They were like, Michael Jackson! I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what'd she do to you, bro?
Don't hold a candle at all to the numbers that Disney was doing, but still, Nick had an opportunity.
Shake it right now, not joking, pause the vid.
They realized that they needed to buckle down and figure out this music shit, because Disney Channel couldn't stop making platinum records, and Nick flopped with China, got finessed by Lil Romeo, totally ignored the potential of Drake Bell.
Yes. When they made them post with them mood things, I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to do that, bro. Always.
Their newest big...
I had to go to bed because my mom told me to. Angry face.
Star Miranda Cosgrove, stolen by Columbia Records, which brings us to Big Time Rush.
He was my favorite. Chat, who's your favorite? He was my favorite. Even though he was stupid, he was my favorite.
Nickelodeon signed
Prime Days on July
12th and named the show after their band name. Promptly after signing, Nickelodeon would partner with Columbia Records to produce the show and the accompanying music. All of their music would be released jointly under Nickelodeon and Columbia Records. Finally, Nickelodeon realized the opportunities that they were missing out on, so they partnered with the experts, Columbia Records, to actually give their talent a decent chance for success, and it paid off. Their debut single, Big Time Rush, would be released the same time as the first episode of the show in November of 2009. It also serves as the show's opening theme, so the band name...
They made me think if I kept on singing, I'll get bitches.
TV show, intro song, and the first single all had the same name. A little cringe and definitely try-hardish, but hey, they're doing something. Throughout season 1 of the show, promotional singles would be released as they were premiered in the coinciding episodes. Alright, they're starting to figure it out. Just a few weeks after the show got going, the first album would debut at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 200 and number 1 on the soundtracks chart, selling 67,000 units in the first week. The song Big Night from the album would debut at number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it their highest peaking song at the time. The album would go on to be certified gold. So things are working. Big Time Rush is on their way. At the end of the first season, they introduced Victorious. Victoria Justice is the main character of the show, and the plot is about her life as a teenager attending the Hollywood Performing Arts Academy. Here's where she meets Ariana Grande, and they become friends. In the show, they often have to perform theatrics and, of course, singing. They created the show literally because of Hannah Montana. The show debuted to 5.7 million views.
She made me like bad girls, I ain't gonna lie.
Viewers. It was an instant hit. Now with BTR and Victoria Justice, we start to see this overlap happen. They're working on 2 musical acts at the same time, starting to take some notes.
I was not moaning
November
Dennis's
2010,
name.
The first
What the
song
fuck?
accompanying the show Victorious was a single called Freak the Freak Out and would reach number 50 on the Billboard Hot 100.
What?
A few months later, February 2011, while the second season of Big
We
Time
need Loud
Rush was
Gordo.
being shown
What?
on
It's
Nick,
true,
the band would
back
release
then.
their third single, Boyfriend, featuring Snoop Dogg. It would peak at number 72 on the Billboard Hot 100 and would go on to be certified gold, making it their biggest song at the time.
Andre was underrated.
So good. These two are looking promising. Then in August of 2011, the first soundtrack for Victorious would be released. Debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 200, 40,000 units sold in the first week. So they're getting organized. Number 5 on the Billboard Hot 200.
Hated with the extra H. This chick right here. Oh my gosh, like to see her in this show really pisses me off. Really does.
40,000 units sold in the first week. So they're getting organized.
Every time she was on the screen, I was so Trina. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Then back to Big Time Rush. November 2011, BTR's second studio album, Elevate, would be released. Again, while the second season of the show was still being aired on Nick. It would debut at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 200, which is lower than the previous, but it would actually sell more copies in the first week with over 70,000.
They were so mean to her. I felt so bad.
One key thing was happening during all of this. Ariana Grande. She was the co-star on the show Victorious, and her musical talents were being completely...
Don't get me wrong. They're not looking. He's not looking at her. She's actually doing good too. With Dynasty and shit. I never seen Dynasty, but
ignored, but I'll get to that in a minute. March of 2012, Big Time Movie would be released and would premiere on Nickelodeon to 13.1 million viewers. 4 days before this, the Big Time Movie soundtrack would be released, consisting of 6 covers of some of the most famous Beatles songs. The soundtrack would peak at number 44 on the Billboard Hot 200, but in my opinion, this is a huge miss. Disney did a similar promo for the Jonas Brothers to 10 million viewers and got a gold album from it. I don't know what happened, but 13 million viewers and you have an album flop? I think Nickelodeon missed their big time. The second soundtrack, Victorious 2.0, more music from the hit TV show, would be released in June of 2012. The album would reach number 18 on the Billboard Hot 200, number 1 on Billboard Kid albums, and number 2 on the Billboard soundtrack charts, which is great. Season on Billboard Kid album.
They should have put this nigga in a fucking asylum with that damn puppy he had in his hand.
And number 2 on the Billboard soundtrack charts.
Yeah, do that.
Which is great. Season 3 for Victorious and Big Time Rush are happening, but the end of these shows is near. And really the end of Nickelodeon and Disney Channel peak relevance is also near. The next soundtrack for Victorious and next album for Big Time Rush still did very well, but they were the lowest performing projects for both of these acts. Nickelodeon was hyper-focused on making Big Time Rush and Victoria Justice superstars. They were always playing catch-up to the Disney Channel. From 2010 to the beginning of 2012, they had a Disney-like pop star factory working. A little bit.
Died.
I mean, they weren't going platinum. But for Nick's standards, they were doing better than they had ever done. While they were focused on this, they let the biggest talent of them all slip right past them. Ariana Grande was a co-star of Victorious. She had very little involvement on the Victorious soundtracks despite being the obvious better performer. Her talents were kind of ignored, so much so that she went to posting her covers on YouTube. Yeah. Covers of Mariah Carey kind of ignored. So much so that she...
Yo, who the fuck is that?
Being the obvious better performer.
Chat, look right here. Look right here.
Talents were kind of ignored. So much so that...
Is that a person? Where is he? That's scary.
She went to
that wasn't a moan,
covers
bro.
on YouTube. Covers of Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, like songs that are borderline impossible to perform. The covers were so good and were getting so much traction that she got signed to Republic Records. So her day job was on Victorious, and Nick was so focused on their big acts, Ariana got sidelined and swooped up by a major.
Remember when Ariana Grande got like backlash for like tanning her body? I mean, is she really tan though?
Label. But it almost seemed inevitable that Victoria Justice and Big Time Rush would go on to have a very successful music career. But shortly after the show ended, BTR's hype was replaced by One Direction and they took a hiatus. After Victorious ended, Justice signed to Columbia and released a single called Gold. It was a commercial failure, and she would depart from Columbia shortly after due to creative differences. So after both Nick's biggest acts flop and quit music, 3 months later, Ariana released her debut album, Yours Truly. It went #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. I don't wanna talk it to my ex. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next.
100, sold 138,000 copies first week, and went platinum within the first year. Nickelodeon had to be looking at that like,
I sang it wrong. I don't know the fucking song.
With a terrible attempt to recreate High School Musical with the show How to Rock that was canceled after one season. They attempted a Wizards of Waverly.
No. Niggas sleep on this. I don't give a fuck. Niggas slept on this like fucking crazy. This was a great show. This was an amazing show. I liked it. I personally liked it. I liked it, bro. The fact that this got canceled pissed me off. This should have kept on going. This should have kept on going, bro. Every which way was so fire. I liked it. And especially the main character, she was so cute. What?
Waverly Place knockoff, but the relevance of both of these networks
really died down. That show was actually lit. They had some minor
success here and there, but social media, YouTube, Vine, and now TikTok are just absolutely dominating kids' attention. I don't know if they'll ever come back. Ariana Grande slipped by Nickelodeon and became one of the biggest artists today. You could argue she is the biggest musically out of both networks. She has the most followers on Instagram, is the 4th most streamed artist in the world, the most streamed female artist in the world, and has sold over 70 million records. I think the simple reason why Nick missed out and Disney didn't is just that their talent scouting wasn't as good. And they didn't do a great job marketing either. Because Nickelodeon had more average viewers than the Disney Channel for 19 years straight. They could have done better cross promo, talked about singles or albums in the show, run commercials, promoting the music, premiering music videos on the network, just really taking that promo to the next
Big Time Rush have a game?
The reason why they weren't as successful was because they were always playing catch up to the Disney Channel. They were trying to recreate and redo what the Disney Channel was doing, but a year or two later, after nobody really cared about it anymore. Instead of trying to build their own future, it was all about keeping up with the times. And while they were so busy trying to keep up with the times, their biggest stars
crossover with Big Time Rush and
ultimately
would have been good.
Nickelodeon.
I mean, they did it with iCarly, but they should have done it with
So they had a lot less time to figure this out. And I don't think they'll ever have another opportunity to create pop stars like this. I guess if we want good entertainment,
Henry Danger, the first 2 to 3 seasons or 2 seasons, I liked. Like I was okay with watching. It wasn't fire, but I was okay with watching it. But the whole other seasons are ass, and the new spinoff is completely dog shit. It's terrible.
All we have left is little old Patrick CC.
It's terrible. W coverage, Mr. CC. The new Henry Danger is terrible. It is dog water. I never want to ever wanted to see that shit ever in my life, bro. Ever.